Welcome back to 2 p.m. with the Trigger. Rich Bontrager here with you. A beautiful day. I hope it's rocking right along for you. Last night's show, How to Rock the Stage, was wonderful. And you do want to make sure you catch up on that. We are now streaming it with a podcast as well. It went live today with a new podcast show. Check this out. Scan that right there. Make sure you start listening to How to Rock the Stage show, the podcast version. And last night's episode is up live right now on Apple and many other places. We talked about how to get in the top 3%, the top elevated level of podcasting. You want to listen to that podcast and many other as well. Subscribe, follow. We're on many different platforms. So please check that out and be a part of what is going on. Today, we're going to have a great conversation. I'm going to give you more insights again as we're helping with your branding and your media branding. Particularly what we do here at Rock the Stage is we help you build your media brand, your media entity, but there are questions you have to ask and answer to better carve that out and hone that out. And we're going to get right into that here today. And the big question of the day is, what's your message? What is your message that you want to get out to the world that is so important? We've had other shows that deal with other questions, but this is one that we get into with the people that we coach and work with. If you're going to build a media empire, if you're going to reach out to the world and better communicate, help, showcase, whatever it is we do, you got to craft a message that people are going to be drawn to. Again, my message is we're here every day to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, and help amplify you and your brand authority as a go-to expert. That's what I help you do through the power of media. That's my message. Now, we do it many, many other ways, but it's also what do and don't you do. So ask yourself, what's your message? Your message is going to identify who you're trying to talk to. Your message is targeted to your industry, to your people. Again, we've been talking about if you're a doctor, for example, you're not just a doctor. You're a doctor that works with brain surgery patients. You want to have that message reaching the people that are in that field or need your services, need your coaching, but you have your message really tight on that. You're not just a doctor, because they may think you're a foot doctor, a mouth doctor, a pediatrician, whatever, but you are a doctor. Your message must hit on the fact that you do brain surgery. You're one of the best in the world, and you're going to help people with their head trauma. That's part of really dynamic, powerful messaging. Also, what your messaging is partly what level of genius are you? Again, are you an expert? Are you a resident? Are you this? I got 36 of broadcast media experience. Part of my messaging is I know this industry inside and out. I coach people. I equip people. I do talk shows. I do interview segments. Everything I do is leveraging those 36 years of media to help you learn media, because you don't know what I know. And the world is rapidly changing, and we need to keep up with the times. So part of my messaging is, look, if you want to learn how to have a podcast, a streaming TV show, if you want to learn how to come off great on interviews, that's part of my sub-messaging that I get into. You have your main message, you have that main thing, but you do need to have then kind of the parentheses of here's what else I do within that. It's clarifying those sub-bullets that you put on your LinkedIn or you put on your website. That's part of your messaging. Recently, I've been going through one of my resources I use called eSpeakers. It is for speakers. It's partly connected to the National Speakers Association. eSpeakers is its own group. But I've been revisiting my own profile because my messaging and what I do has changed and morphed. It's gotten sharper. And so I had to go into my eSpeakers to start changing that. I talk more about branding, personal branding, corporate branding, not just media skills, but it's branding and media skills. Go into sites like that. They actually have a ranking. They will show you where you rank in different categories to show you if you're in the top 50% of people on that topic, the top 2%, one of the subcategories, I'm down to the top 4% of people that speak in all of eSpeakers on a particular subcategory. That's laser messaging. That's what you want to get into when you have your messaging. Take a tablet, take an open document again, and this is part of that creative process that comes out of what you need to do. You need to take whatever your messaging is right now, and you need to rip it apart, put it back together. Google for keywords. Look at what those common keywords that people are looking for in your industry. Go to YouTube. You use YouTube and type in some of the comments and main industry leaders that you would think would be hot topics. See how people are labeling, asking questions, creating videos. Click on some of the top most rated videos in that, because their messaging is going to be bullseye. The reason they're getting those likes, those shares, their messaging is so tight. So look at what others in your field are doing and figuring out what's successful and what's not so successful. You're going to see a lot of people that are just very fuzzy on their messaging. Messaging is a big game changer. Messaging on your website. Again, as we've talked about, build your media empire and have it be the same message over and over and over. They're going to find shine on cameras, shine on stage, blah, 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 with Rich Trigger Bontrager everywhere. That's the messaging. And I have worked on that. I have tooled that and retooled that multiple times in my career. Every 2 years, you probably need to readjust your messaging because hot topics, new verbiage, there's different ways of labeling it and doing it. But that message part of what do you do? Why are you that expert in that field? And then what are you going to help people do? People always want to know in that clear, open messages, what's in it for them. Why do they want to do business to you? What service, what thing do you bring to them? They definitely need you and nobody else. Again, going back to that brain surgeon. If I have a foot problem, I don't need a foot or a brain surgeon. I need a foot doctor, right? Make sure they clearly understand in your messaging what you are about and how you're going to help them. I help people shine on camera and shine on stage. Doctors help you clear up that head knowledge. If you're a brain surgery, if you're a car mechanic, we help your car run smoothly year round. Whatever it is, you got to clarify to the people, the clients that you want, who you are, your expertise, because why else come to you if they can go anywhere, and what do they get out of it? It also needs to be short. Your messaging needs to be short and crisp. Think of the many TV commercials that we have heard growing up. Have it your way. Okay, that's Burger King. Finger licking good. Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? You can taste that kernel when I say it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Which one was that? Drop that in the chat. Let me see if you remember that one. I grew up at a time where shoes, people, we go to the shoes. They would put the bottom back on again because the heels and the soles would get worn out, but you could put them back on. I can remember Buster Brown, the theme song and the messaging of Buster Brown was, here's Buster Brown. He lives in a shoe. Here's his dog, Tiny. He lives here too. But it was all about the shoe. It was all about the shoe. So you knew Buster Brown and his little fun dog were all about your shoes. They would take good care of them. Your messaging is so important. Major brands have crashed. For those of us who remember the new Coke that came out, remember how much they pushed that and told us the messaging was clear. It's not the Coke you've always grown up with. It's not going to be the same. And they were banking on that to be a new, exciting thing. Their messaging was clear, but what people got from the product was not what they wanted. So make sure your messaging matches your service, your products, the outcomes that you are telling them they will get. And then build your media empire around that messaging. Build it around whatever it is that you're going to come through with. Again, we have more on this. We have more to get through and more of this branding and messages, but I want you to get these little morsels, these little building blocks to help you build your media empire the right way. It's time consuming. It's painstaking, but it's well worth it because what you do matters greatly and how you help and serve people is of great value as well. If you want to learn more, as always, you can always reach out personally to me, rich@richbontrager.net, or go to rockthestagemedia.com. We have services and systems and ways to help you, one-on-one coaching, collective coaching. We can help you out to develop this further. Coming up, it's going to be the National Stutter Awareness Week is just around the corner, May 8th through the 13th. And you've heard me over the last several days talk about my stutter and how it's impacted my career. It is part of my brand. I have a whole talk just on this and the power of leveraging that. Join us for a special week. We're going to be talking with other people with that stutter, that struggle with stuttering, that have overcome stuttering, and learning how to understand and relax and just let people breathe. Let stutters work through it, not jump in, not intervene, and not freak out when someone stutters. We're going to have a great week of education, inspiration, and much more on I Stutter Week. So join us here. There'll be a special 2 p.m. editions coming up during that week. As always, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out anytime, rich@richbontrager.net. Again, I always take all my personal mail directly to me. That's a brand promise, part of my brand messaging. You're going to get right to me, and I will get right back to you. We'll see you tomorrow here at 2 p.m. again with The Trigger. 2 p.m. live, Monday through Fridays. We'll see you tomorrow.